So hey guys, welcome back to Technoback. This is Parikshit here, back again with the new video. And in the continuation of the SQL injection, this will be our second part, as we know that in the previous video we have covered the SQL injection, what is SQL injection and what is error based and what is union based. So now in this video we are going to cover the blind SQL injection. And we know that in blind SQL injection there are again two types that will come into this. So among the two types, the first one is the time based attack and the second one is the boolean based attack. So first of all, we'll see what is like a blind SQL injection. So in the previous video we have seen that error based SQL injection and union based injection, how it works. So when we get any error into the database, we know that like, okay, the error is related to the SQL and there might be the vulnerability existing. So we take that advantage, we use some basic payloads and we try to find out the vulnerability or the parameter which is injectable, and we try to inject the several payload into the database and we just try to get the access to it. So again we use some different payload by using a union keyword and we get access to some other tables as well. So this is what we have seen in the previous video. But what if we are not getting any error while performing a payload or while checking the payloads into the database or into the any input field which is there? So in that case, how you will know that the particular website is having a vulnerability or not? So this is exactly we see in a blind SQL injection, because in a blind what happens is like, if there might be vulnerability, right, the website or the web server is vulnerable, but we don't know, because even because the thing is like we are not getting error, right? When we are not getting any error, it means that we are not able to see whether the vulnerability is there or not. So that is exactly the blind SQL injection vulnerability is, and how we test it, that matters here. So that's the thing here. To test this blind SQL injection, we have two types. So the number one is time based attacks and the next is the boolean based attack. In time based, what we do is like we use some payloads or several payload and we check them against the website. Like if there is a vulnerability, we will use that time based payload and check the several conditions, whether like we will be providing some condition or we'll simply providing a time payloads, and we'll check if we are getting a result after a particular amount of time or not. And if that happens, it means that the vulnerability is existing. And the next one is a boolean based attack. So in boolean based, as you know, we will be checking by using the conditions, like where we'll be using some and, or, this kind of stuff. So we will use like this payloads or this condition and we'll check after implementing this kind of condition we are getting a result or not. So when we are getting a result even after implementing this kind of condition, it means that there is a vulnerability, right? Or there might not be. So that depends again like upon the condition as well. So this is what we are going to check today practically. So we'll do the penetration testing, or we can say like we will solve some labs, or I will show you practically how it works. And later again in the next video, I'm not sure how long this video will be, but we will again talk about the remediation part of SQL injection as well. Alright guys, so this is about it. Let's go ahead and let's start it. So in previous video we have seen how we test the union based and error based attacks on this website, right? So this is exactly we are gonna take as an example here. This is the website that we are going to test, and we are going to test some time based payloads. That's what I said, like we are going to test some time based payload, where by using this payload we'll see whether this website is having a vulnerability that is a blind SQL injection or not. So let's see what are some time based payload that we will be using. So here are some time based payloads and boolean based payload I have already written down here. And guys, it again depends like what server is being used, what database is being used by a website. So few website might be using MySQL, it might be PostgreSQL, or it might be Microsoft. So it depends again on that one. So the payload will vary on the database. So in this case, like if we are not sure what database is being used by a particular website, we can try to find out that one. Otherwise, we can just try to use this kind of payload directly on the website and see if the result we are getting a result or not. Okay, So let's try this first one for here, and we'll see like whether this will work or not, and we have to comment out the rest of the code. So we'll do that, and now when I say enter, and we are not getting a result, right? So this is the error that it displayed. So the payload says, it says that sleep for 5 seconds. As we can see that artist equal to 1, and by till here you can see the website is completely working fine, and this parameter and this value is working, right? So when I put here any payload like for sleep for the 5 seconds, it should actually sleep, or it should not respond for a 5 seconds, and then after 5 seconds we should get a result. So if we are not getting, it means that there is some issue with our payload, so we have to change it. This is not working because this might be working with some other we can say other database. So we'll go ahead and we'll use some different payload, right? So let's try this. So this is for the PostgreSQL, and okay, we are getting error. It means that this is also not working. Again, this is for the PostgreSQL, and now this is here, like we can try to use some boolean values like or, and then we'll use sleep, and we'll see whether we're now getting a result or what. So after the value, like because here we can see that once we provided a value, I think we should actually provide condition here, which will either like or, and then here we are making like, and then once we provide a condition here, we are asking now server to sleep for 5 seconds. Okay, so here the condition should be like true, right? Here we are having a proper valid URL which is working, and after this we are providing or and then sleep for 5 seconds. Let's see if that works. Okay, we are getting some delay. Okay, I think this is good. Maybe server is not responding for 5 seconds as we can see here, and this, yes, now we got a result. So it means that this payload worked, and we can now say that this website is having or blind SQL injection vulnerability. It exists here, right? Now again, there are several payload that will work for other website. It may not work for this website, right? Because let's say now this is something is equal to 1, and I'm giving a single quote here, or sleep for 5 seconds, and I'm commenting out the rest of the part. So let's say enter, and I'm just waiting, but no, we got an error. It means that the previous query worked fine. So here we can see the single quote, we don't need to give it, this will work without it. So that's exactly happened, like the single quote is like something you have to give it in some other website, and here you don't need to give, you don't need to do that. That's all. I think this is exactly you have to do. Here you can see that here the condition will be there, and again wait for delay. So this kind of payload will again work for a Microsoft server. All right, so, but it is not working here. And next, this is how we check for the time-based attack. And if I want to show you by any example how that works again, so like we can go ahead and we can try to solve one blind SQL injection with time delay, and this is the Portsfigure lab. So let's just try to access this lab. Here the lab says that this lab contains the blind SQL injection vulnerability, and the application uses the tracking cookie for analytics and perform the SQL query containing the value of submitted cookie. All right, so we have to check the tracking cookie value here. Okay, so I think we have to go to this particular website, visit it once again, but we have to check that by using a burp suite. So I will set this up first of all. Okay, let me try that. I will use it here, and I will copy the website address. Let me add it to my scope and paste. Okay, and I will go to HTTP history. I will now refresh the page. Okay, and we can see that now we got the request. So here we can see tracking ID is there. I will simply send this request to repeater, and now we have to exploit the SQL injection vulnerability. to cause the 10-second delay. Alright, so we know that it uses a tracking cookie for analytics, and now we have the tracking ID here, and this is exactly what we are going to do. We are going to perform some time delay function for this particular web server, and we know that this lab or this PostgreSQL lab, it is like uses the PostgreSQL database. So we have a PostgreSQL payloads here, and it uses either pgslip and the duration we want. So let's try that. We can just provide it here, and let's see if that works. So after the tracking ID, what I'm gonna do is, let's get like single quote, and this is exactly what we have to give, and then space, and I'm just pasting the payload over here, and pgslip, and then 5, and then comment out the rest of the part of the code. Alright guys, so tracking ID equal to this single quote, space, and then pgslip, and let's say will that works or not. So this is bad request, I think that didn't work. And next what we can do is, like, there is another payload which we can use. So sometime a website doesn't accept only pgslip payload, and here we have to provide actually the OR symbol into the payload. So it will be like double pipe, and then we are putting a payload pgslip, and as the lab says it should be for 10 seconds, so I'm giving it for 10 seconds, and I'm commenting out the rest of the part. So let's go ahead now. Okay, bad request. I think there is something we are doing wrong here. I think we have to do something here, or maybe, okay, sorry, pgslip, there is underscore, actually there is a spelling mistake here, and I think now let's try it. Let's see, go. Let's see if it is taking like 10 seconds of time. Yeah, we can see that somewhat response delay here. We are not getting any response by this time, so let's wait for it. I think this might work. Yes, there was just a mistake in our spelling, and the payload should be pg_slip. Alright guys, so this is the payload for PostgreSQL, and yes, it worked. We got a response, and it exactly took around 10 seconds. We will see what happened at the, oh yes, we can see now that congratulations, you solved the lab. I think this worked. I think that's exactly the issue was there, and this is how it works guys. I mean, you just check the web application, you just try to find some parameter where we can inject something, and you check whether this is giving us any kind of response, or which shows us that it is having really a vulnerability or not. So this is it. We will now see about the boolean based conditions. So let's try this kind of thing where we will be using like or and some condition which will be either true or it will be false. So we'll just use it in our first website. Let's try that. And as this simple parameter is, or simple URL is giving a result to us, and by using this parameter value we'll try to use some or, and a condition will be either like 1 equals to 1. Okay, and I'm commenting out the rest of the thing. So here the condition is like or and 1 equals to 1, which is always true. So this should display a result to us, right? And we can see it is loading, and yes, it has given the result to us. And also now what if we making the condition false? So I think that should not be matter. Here we can see artist equal to 1 or 1 equals to 2, as 1 equals to 2 is wrong, but still we are getting a result because the condition is and here, right? So or what it will do, it will either check artist equal to 1 is true or 1 is equal to 2. So if either of 1 is true, it will still display result to us, and that exactly happened here. So in this case, if I am like a changing or to and, so this will completely change the scenario. What will happen is like in and both the conditions should be true. So here we can see that artist equal to 1 is fine, that the result is there at this value or this parameter, but the second condition is saying that 1 equals to 2, which is false, so it should not display the result at this case. Now when I say enter, we can now see we are not getting any result, right? We didn't get any error, but we did not see any result here. We don't see any result here, right? So in this case, if I say or, we will get the result. Now again, if I change the value from 1 is equal to 1, so here both the conditions are true. We can see that 1 equals to 1 is true and art is equal to 1, the value or the result is there. So when we say enter, we should get the result here back now, even with the AND condition. I think yes, we can see we got the result. So that's exactly like we can try to use this kind of payload and or the different payloads. You can also use the union, select and some other payloads by using where condition as well, and we can also use this kind of other payloads as well. So it depends and on the website and what database it uses and which payload you need to use. So there will be several other payloads as well. As if I want to show you here in the SQL injection cheat sheet, we will have a separate or a different payloads for every different database, right? For Oracle, Microsoft PostgreSQL or for MySQL, there will be always the different payloads. You have like for conditional time delay also, you have to use some different payloads for every different database, right? So you have to these payloads are pretty defined and you have to use it the same way which is there. So because these are like a case sensitive. Alright guys, so I think you can check this payloads everything in the Portfigure website and you can practice it over there as well. You can then use this kind of skill to find the website's vulnerability, okay, on any other website, and like to find the vulnerability in there, and you can later use this kind of payload or the method that I have shown you to find whether the vulnerability is there, and if it is there and if you got any kind of such thing, so you can report to that particular website and you might get a bounty on that. So this is exactly called as a bug bounty. So if you find a bug and then you reported it, and they will pay you the monetary reward, right? So that exactly like you can do, and also it will help you in your career to do the penetration testing, even to get you a job on this basis. Alright, so this is it. This is exactly I wanted to teach you, because here we cannot go much deeper because there will be again lot more payloads and lot more methods to test. It will be there always, but the important thing is first we should know how to test a basic thing. Once we know that, and once we like test the basic things and we are like able to see that okay, vulnerability is there, we can definitely later go for the different kind of payloads, right, which will give us the value of that is like a severe impact on the database. So we can later definitely go for that, but the thing is you should know the basic thing first of all, and that's exactly we learned here now. Alright guys, so this is about it. We have now completed our time-based attack and boolean-based attack from our blind SQL injection section, and so along with this we have completed all our 4 types. I have already taken you through this, and now the next thing what we are going to see is the remediation or the prevention, how you can do that. So before that, again I want to take you through this particular slide where I can show you that how you will test the particular website is having a web vulnerability, SQL injection vulnerability or not, or how you will test the error based vulnerability is there or not. So you can simply pass this kind of single quote or double quote or plus plus or minus minus or hash and or this kind of condition you can pass, and you can check whether we are getting any error, whether like even after providing a blind payload whether it is really taking a time and giving a result to you or not. So this kind of thing you can do, and you can like find a vulnerability in there. The remediation part for this SQL injection is what we are going to take in a next video, so because that is also a very important thing that you should know. So I hope you understood this and it was helpful for you. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, and I need your support to the channel by subscribing it if you are new to the video, or new to the channel, so please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon as well, because you will be getting the notification when I upload a new video. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. I will meet you in the next video where we'll be talking about the remediation or the prevention of SQL injection. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Have a great day and bye bye.